like to welcome y'all to Digging in Texas and this new series, Trash or Treasure. Now, this new series, myself, along with a good friend of mine from South Carolina, Peter Ells, who also has a YouTube channel, Digging South Carolina, have come together to help you identify some of the artifacts you have dug. Now, in this episode, I'll be identifying whatchamacallits, and Pete will be identifying thingamajiggies. Now, come on and join us for this episode of Trash or Treasure. All right, I got this one item here that I want to show y'all, and they look like this. You can see that. See there? It's got ears on it. Goes all the way through, kind of a squared out hole there. Now what these are the spindle hubs to an old door lock. Okay? And these will date back to even before the Civil War, up through the Civil War. Alright? And I have supplied some pictures for you to see these. You can see the ears right here, and you can see the square hole. Where the spindle went through and then onto the knob. Now, the neat thing about this is there's another item that sort of looks like this, and people always say that it's the same thing, and it's this right here. These things right here. Alright? They say that these are also to a door lock, and they say that these are also spindle hubs. You see, they're kind of different. You see the different, but they look kind of similar, but they don't have the ears. They got different kind of designs on here. Now what these are, this went to a Civil War era beer keg spigot. The key would actually fit in this over here. You see there's different kinds of openings. See that? Now, if the beer keg was easily get to, it would be empty the first night. We all have come to understand that. So they had one guy that was in charge of the whiskey and the beer in camp, and he would have the key that went in here. That's the difference between that and that. You know? Big difference. So these are not to a door lock. They're to a beer keg spigot. These are to an 1850s, 1860s door lock. That's called the spindle hub.
Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is this little pretty piece of green brass. So most relic hunters know what this stuff is, but if you're out in an old spot and never done a whole lot of relic hunting, well, I'm going to show you what this is. This goes to a rifle musket. This is a Civil War infield. It's pretty slick green, but it's called a nose cap to a musket. On the very front of the musket, say the barrel was like this. I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. Now, it was right there near the tip of the barrel. Like that. It's called a nose cap, and right here, this part right here is where the ramrod went in. See it? That's where the ramrod's clamped down in there. And this one right here went to a colonial flintlock musket. It's a little bit smaller. It doesn't even have a place for the ramrod. But this was a colonial. This is Civil War. So you find a little brass piece like this, now you know.
Now this next item that I have, kind of unique. It looks kind of weird. It looks like a bowl. Okay, looks just like a bowl with this little knob sticking off. Well, actually, what this is a colonial flintlock pistol butt plate. Okay, this is the butt plate to a flintlock pistol. All right, that's one of the screws that kept it secured into place. This right here actually was about this long, and it probably would have had another screw hole in it to secure it to the wood. And some of them are pretty fancy. They kind of got this scallop looking feature. You see the scalloped edge, but it's still got the screw there, and it's also broken here. I don't know why they broke, but they did. They seem to always break in the same place. Now these are made of brass, and a lot of times this iron screw won't be in place. It will have already rotted out and there'll be a hole right there. All right. A lot of times this piece will still be there. So if you dig this piece, now you know you got an old flintlock pistol butt plate from the colonial days. How about that?
Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is a common find to most any relic hunter, and a lot of times even coin hunters will find them. Most people know what they are when they dig them, but a lot of these newbies don't. So like I said, it's not geared toward the hardcore relic hunter, because I know everybody that digs relics knows what these are. But take a look at that. That is a watch winder key. See that? And this is how it worked. Alright, this is how you can tell an old pocket watch from a more modern pocket watch. See those holes in there? This is from English, come out of sight with Confederate stuff in it. And it's got the word Marine on it, Patent Marine Observer or something like that. You see those holes in there? See this? Fit in there like that. And that's how you wind that pocket watch. That's how I was doing right there. See that? So when you find these, that's the purpose of it. And like I said, this is how you can tell the real old Civil War period pocket watches. They got those holes in there for the watch key. Most people that detect old sites always come across these. We find them a lot. All different shapes, sizes, styles. Some are real fancy. I got one with a palmetto tree and a dog on it. It's real fancy. So there you go.
All right, this next piece was a toughie, and I kind of got lucky in identifying it due to the fact of what I found and how I found it. But you can see these tubes they're identical. All right, now this is only part of it. Now, what happened was I'd always find these right here. I'd find these pieces right here. Okay, see that? And I had no idea what these were. They kept turning up in camps. These are brass, pretty thin. All right. One day I was at an 1850 site, and I found this one right here. All right. Found this one right here. This slot right here is made by a plow. I'm not really sure, but this one is real. If you look, you can see this little circular pattern right here. And there was a little button soldered on right there. Now, what we have here is a measuring shot device that went on a leather pouch. Now, these will date, I guarantee, to 1850, because that's where I found this one being used by dragoons in 1850 here in Texas. Now, how this would work, now this one's not all here, but I provided a picture for you to look at, and you can see without a doubt that's what this is. When I found this piece, this is what I refer to as a slider, okay? This piece was stuck in here just like that. Was stuck in there just like so, okay? Just like that. And what they would do, this was on a leather bag, and what they would do, this little button that was right here, they'd push it, and they would stop the flow or open the flow of shot. Okay? And that's how that worked. When I found it was stuck in there just like that. And I said, well, man, now I know what that is. And I just had to share this with everybody, because if you're a relic hunter, I promise you, you're digging these right here, and you're probably digging these right here. All right? You're probably digging them. But anyway, that's what this is. It's a shot measuring device that went on the end of a leather pouch or flask, whichever. And this is how they measured their shot. That's cool. So if you dig either one of these parts, now you know.
Alright, this next piece I'm going to show you, when you first see it, you're going to say, oh, that one on that might be a sash buckle, or might have been a rosette. Most people probably think rosette, but nope, that's not what it is. Alright, take a look at that. It's an oval brass disc. Almost looks like a rosette, but it is not horse related whatsoever. So if you ever find one, the picture I'm fixing to show you, you'll see what it is. This one on a 1840s dragoon helmet. And the one I'm going to show you is a South Carolina dragoon helmet, but I'm sure the other states had them too. So if you ever run across one of these, not horse tack related, not a rosette, went on a helmet, a dragoon helmet. So in case you find one, now you